Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Weekly. We have a ton to go over today, and we're going to be talking about the new Nintendo Switch stuff. We're going to be talking about all the different Pokemon news and activities that are going along with it. So buckle up. It's going to be a fun but and hopefully very informative episode for you guys. So make sure to like and subscribe if you end up enjoying this video. And also, if you just like Pokemon content in general, we're coming out with these every weekly. We've got tier lists coming out every week. All these other things coming out too. And then make sure to let me know in the comments section below which of all of these things you are most excited about, because we do have some actual Pokemon news alongside some of this other Nintendo stuff, and then we do have some leaks as well that we will be going over. So as always, we will be saving the leaks for last, but let's hop into it here. We're starting off with Prismatic Evolutions. This has been a set that a lot of people have been disappointed by, just in the sense that the prices were insanely big on this one, and this one comes from Evolving Skies, I believe, just doing so well with that Moonbryon card being such a big deal for a lot of people, and a very rare card. Very fortunate enough to know that my dad actually has a PSA 10 of that Moonbryon, so pretty cool, to say the least. Did not realize that set would be as big as it was going to get, and Prismatic Evolutions has more of the Eevee and Evolutions in him, and the Pokemon Company just straight up came out and said that, like, hey, we didn't do a good job of handling this. We are going to do reprints. This is going to drive down the value of Prismatic Evolutions pretty substantially. So if you want to wait to grab some, I don't think that'd be a bad idea. A lot of the scalpers and stuff are kind of getting screwed by this one, but that's to be expected when you go out and price gouge like they did on this one. I mean, I saw prices of like $150 when these are normally, $40. So pretty wild to see, and very interesting to see as well that Pokemon is coming out and already saying these things when I believe the set is still very, very new. So that was a big update. There's another one with the Pokemon company, in terms of cards. McDonald's apparently is launching a new collaboration with Pokemon. Here's the list of cards that you're going to see on January 21st. It's called Dragon Discovery. So if you go to McDonald's, you'll be able to get, all of these different Pokemon. Some really interesting additions in here, like a Hatenna is very surprising, right? Like with Quagsire, like these are weird choices, but they're there. Drampa even, like, strange, but hey, they had to put some cards in there. So, you can go to your local McDonald's and get these. Most of the time, these McDonald's a little hack here. They don't care how many they give away. They're just told to give them away. So I know that there are some that will literally just give you a bunch of packs if you just ask for them. So, not saying that you should do that, but just saying, like, if you really want to try to catch them all to get all 15 of these promo cards, that may be the way to go instead of having to go to McDonald's 1,000 times. So keep that in mind as well. We continue on here. The Unova, Tour Pass is coming to Pokemon Go. We've talked about this for a while. We've known about this. A lot of people are speculating that this is going to end up leading into Black and White and Black and White 2. I don't know that it's I shouldn't say this. I have said this in the past. I do think that it's intentional. I do think it's also timely in the sense that they've kind of just aligned in that way more than anything. So, yeah, I mean, look, there's oh gosh, that was really loud for a second there. So all the, Gen 5 Pokemon are going to be very available for you to catch. And there's going to be, I guess it looks like, if you upgrade your pass from the free pass, you can get a better chance to catch Victini, which, is always a bonus if you can get, I believe that's a mythical, not a legendary, but a mythical Pokemon. So keep that in mind if you're a Pokemon Go fan. The pass is out, I believe, so grab that while you can. Moving on to just general Pokemon news, and then we'll head into the leaks, and then we'll talk about the Nintendo Switch, just because that's going to be the thing that's going to take the longest for us to discuss. But the official Pokemon TV YouTube channel is out now, and you can go watch a bunch of the episodes from the original Pokemon shows, the different anime. I don't know if all of them are up there yet, I'd honestly have to go check. I have not had an opportunity to, as this came out about 2 days before this recording. Been a little busy with other work things, but I definitely plan on checking this out. I mean, it looks like you can just basically start running through all the Pokemon shows. They took down the other ways that you could watch Pokemon to some degree. I believe it's still on Netflix, but this is a big deal. I mean, just being able to go to YouTube and being able to watch it for free, I think is going to be nice. And I'm sure they're going to have ads on, so you'll get that juicy ad revenue. But technically, it's going to be a free way to watch. So big deal for Pokemon fans, for people who want to catch up or ever watch some of the old anime. This is the spot to go, and it's a big announcement, and it's coming at the beginning of the year. Now let's head into some leaks here. El Chico Eevee, as always, is keeping us up to date with different Pokemon Unite stuff, especially. You can see the Urshifu outfits here, the sets for the new clothing. You can see a bunch of new ones over here as well. Galarian Rapidash is out, by the way. Pokemon Unite has officially revealed their different moves, different abilities, all that kind of stuff. So you can go over there and check it. You can see there's a new skin coming for Inteleon, and it looks like for Hoopa as well. So definitely a lot going on over there with Pokemon Unite, with the Galarian Rapidash update coming soon. I believe it's going to be exactly 1 week from today, if I remember correctly. So for Pokemon Unite fans, for people who just like unicorns or Galarian Rapidash, aside from unicorns, you should probably go and get ready to play some Unite, because there's going to be a big update. There will be more data mine leaks of this game as we move forward as well, especially over this next week. So keep that in mind. There will be more balancing and potentially some more little battle pass stuff that you may want to take a look at. The next leak comes from, I don't know why it's showing a Reese's commercial here, but on PokeLeaks. So the person who did the Terra leaks is back. Like, they disappeared, now they're back. There hasn't been a ton that has been revealed, but and then I will get to this as well, I forgot about that, but they have seen some parts and released some parts of the code where Legends ZA is not going to have Wonder Trade. That is not a big surprise. We haven't had Wonder Trade in a while at this point. I really hope that it will come back on one of these newer generations, because I think a lot of people really loved it. I know my cousin specifically was a huge fan and was devastated when they got rid of Wonder Trading, so I'm hopeful that they will add that back in, but Legends ZA won't have it. Not a big surprise there. We didn't get it with Legends Arceus. Don't expect it for Legends ZA. Also, apparently the Legends ZA Pokedex starts with Chespin and ends with Volcanion. There's a lot that we can kind of gather from this. First off, no surprise, the starters are going to be in the game. And I will say, maybe is it here? Yeah, the starters are not going to be Chespin, Fennekin, and Froakie. They 100% will not be, even though the Pokedex starts with Chespin, it is not going to be those three. And I think that they're going to do what they did in Legends Arceus, where they're going to be available for you to catch in the wild. I think that is the most likely scenario. But what he is saying here, or what they are saying here, is that the starters will be random, similar to how they were in Arceus. So this pretty much, this crosses off the Gen 5 starters completely. I think it crosses off the Legends Arceus starters completely. So that essentially leaves us with 7 different generations of Pokemon, or more accurately, 21 different Pokemon that we could have. So, we're starting to whittle down our options for these Pokemon. And again, I'm not really surprised. I really would have been shocked. Like, we've seen leaks where people are like, oh, this image that they're posting to advertise has Fennekin on it. It's like, I don't think they were going to ever do Fennekin as one of the starters, so that's good to know. Also, they've got some other stuff here about Scarlet and Violet that if you want to take a look at, I think that is definitely worth, looking at. But the big ones are coming here with the Legends ZA decks, starting with Chespin and Volcanion. We now know for sure that, probably almost all, if not all, most of the Gen 5 Pokemon are going to be in this game at some point. This, again, is very similar, or this is Gen 6. Why do I keep calling it Gen 5? I'm sorry, Gen 6. Brain was saying Gen 5 earlier with the Unova stuff with Pokemon Go. Gen 6. All the Gen 6 Pokemon, the X and Y Pokemon, are going to be in this game. I'm not surprised. I wonder if they're going to do it the same way they did with Legends Arceus. I do think that they are going to add other Pokemon as well. I don't believe that they're only going to stick to Gen 4 Pokemon this time. I really believe that they're going to add some Pokemon from some of the other generations. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I just can't imagine a world where they decide to only basically add the Gen 6 Pokemon along with, you know, the 3 new starters. And I'm assuming all the Mega Forms will be in there as well, right? So, like, you know, I don't remember if Weedle's in the first game. I'm pretty sure that Mega Beedrill came with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. But those Pokemon that came with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire will be in the game as well. So it's a pretty robust, you know, Pokedex for sure, but there are going to be new Mega Forms. I just don't think they're only going to use the Gen 6 and, like, the Pokemon that were already in X and Y. I think they're going to expand it a little bit. How much so, I can't really tell you. I don't know, but I think they are going to add some, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them adding some new Pokemon. People on my shorts have been like, well, there's no way they're going to add any Gen 9. You know, we didn't get any Galarian Pokemon in Legends Arceus. While Pokemon is good about repeating themselves and, like, you know, using the same process, changing things, but the core concepts being the same, they do branch out a little bit. I think the core concept is going to be the same for this game as Arceus in terms of it being, you know, open world, third person, you know, probably a little bit more of like a slightly bit of an action game with you being able to roll and catch all the Pokemon, you know, without necessarily having to battle them. I think all that's going to come back. But I do think that they are going to add a lot more Pokemon to this game than just that. And, I mean, the rumors make it sound like this game's going to be huge. Like, we are going to be really feeling like Lumio City is massive. So I am very hopeful with these rumors so far. Leaks in all reality. And I know the Terra Leaker said that they, you know, weren't going to leak anything about Legends EA or Gen 10. I really wonder how long that's going to last. I feel like we're going to get more, and I will say that if you're worried about spoilers for leaks, you should always know that before I jump into the leaks, I'm going to tell you guys what I'm looking at before I'm going to, so hopefully you don't get anything too majorly leaked. But if you're here for leaks, then yeah, I mean, you're going to be seeing this stuff. So the last thing here, and I know this is technically not Pokemon, but the Nintendo Switch 2 finally got announced today, just a few hours ago, and they announced it. They did not show much. I thought they would show more. I will be honest with you. They basically you can watch the video, but they basically just show a 3D rendering of them adding new colors, expanding, you know, the screen size, and, you know, there's new ways that it's going to clip in. Instead of it going up, it's going to go in. You know, they're going with a blue and orange theme for this one, which is also very interesting. And I'm trying to think if there's anything. Well, and then they showed Mario Kart and a little bit of, I think it was Super Mario Bros. Wonder. But that was it. I really thought they were going to show more. I thought they might show some Metroid. I really thought they might show some Pokemon Legends ZA. The reason why we're talking about this right now is because the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct is on April 2nd, 2025. And they've already announced for sure that the Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out sometime this year. You know, anytime between that date, I would assume, and, you know, the end of December. It likely will not come out on the same day that they're going to actually give us a much closer look, a deeper dive into it. But even though Pokemon Legends ZA is specifically coming out for Nintendo Switch 1, it sounds like, according to the Terra Leaker as well, that they are making a version for the Nintendo Switch 2. Gen 10 apparently is potentially being, you know, worked on in the same way, where it's, you know, Gen 1 Switch and then Gen 2 Switch. So they'll have two different versions, one that's probably a little bit better graphically than the other, which is going to be interesting. I don't really remember if this has happened before. I can't really think of a time where a major Pokemon game was released and not, like, it released on multiple different systems within the Nintendo, you know, I don't know, what would I call catalog? Yeah. And I'm really interested to see, because while this does not necessarily necessitate that that Pokemon Legends ZA come out when the Nintendo Switch comes out, I do think it's going to be a launch title for it. I really believe that, and I think the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be coming out sometime in June. I actually recently just wrote an article about the release date, and I talked about the fact that if you go back and look at the old release dates, up until very recently, they had been releasing a lot in, that June time span. I know the Nintendo Switch 2 was in March back in 2017, so I do believe that we are going to be getting this thing sometime in June. There's a chance, and I'm sad to say this, but there is a chance that it wouldn't come out until November for the holiday season. Should that happen, I think they'll release Pokemon Legends ZA before that. I really do believe that. But I can't say for certain, obviously. I'm not there. I'm not a leaker. I do not have a connection in that way. But I really hope that I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong, and I would love for them to even maybe be like, hey, this doesn't matter. Like, we are going to release this game on the Nintendo Switch 2. I think it was Jason Schreier, a known gaming journalist, who put out that, the reason why they did this teaser was so that a bunch of other third parties, and I'm guessing, I don't know if Pokemon is considered a third party technically anymore, but so that somebody else, all these other gaming companies can start releasing and, revealing their different games for the Nintendo Switch 2. If Pokemon's going to have a version on the Nintendo Switch 1 and the Nintendo Switch 2, which I think makes a lot of sense based on kind of the release dates coinciding with each other for the first time, I think either ever or in a while, I think that it would only make sense for them to, for us to think that there's a chance that this game could be released anytime between March and June, and then I think again sometime between September and November. Those are the kind of dates that I am looking at right now, based on what we know about the Nintendo Switch 2. The last thing I will say as well is that the Nintendo Switch 2 is backwards compatible with all Nintendo Switch 1 games. So, it's not like if you go out and you buy a Nintendo Switch 1 version of the game that it won't work for the Nintendo Switch 2. I even wonder if they're going to market them differently at all, or if it's just that there's going to be something within the coding that if it's played on a Nintendo Switch 2, it's going to automatically have the better graphics, or if you're going to need separate cartridges. I really don't know. I'm intrigued. It doesn't sound like it, but I also was watching the IGN live stream, and they were talking about the fact that it would be a real shame if basically, backwards compatible games apparently in the past have still run not with the obvious graphical and processing updates of their new versions. They've just basically had it in the coding that it would run as like when you got an Xbox One and you ran an Xbox 360 game, it would still run the game like an Xbox 360 game and not an Xbox One game. But this one, again, I think is a little different because they're kind of developing this game. I'm sure Pokemon has known for a while that the Nintendo Switch 2 was coming out this year, so they've kind of had the plan for that. I know I'm rambling. There's a lot of thoughts to go on with this. I really understand that, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about this, because I'm not only confused to a certain degree, but I am really intrigued to see what Pokemon is going to do right now. With the Nintendo Switch 2 officially getting announced, we are about a month away from Pokemon Day. So if that's the case, then what all is going to be coming out for us? I'm very interested. I think with the Nintendo Switch 2 getting announced, I think it is very much more likely that we are going to get an explosion of information on Pokemon Day. So let me know what you guys think in the comments as always. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. But that's going to wrap it up for us on this Pokemon News Weekly. So with that, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.